We continue the session on responsibility matrix. So basically, responsibility matrix is also called a linear responsibility chart. It summarizes the tasks to be accomplished, tasks to be done. We have a list of tasks to be done, and then it's mapped to the people who is responsible for the job or to the project. Very detailed list. Okay, so basically it will consider the list of project activities and participants. It clarifies critical interfaces between unit and individual that need coordination. Which department, which person in which department that need to do what, as an example. So everyone involved going to have a clear description of their job scope and clarify the extent or type of authority that can be exercised by each participant. So this is the example of the responsibility matrix for a market research project. Basically, this responsibility matrix doesn't have a fixed template. It depends on the project, depends on creativity, and also the dance or the how far we want to map the scope or the work to be done. As here we can see they have the task list of tasks. Okay, can go the list can go up, and here is the project team. So based on individual, here they name the person. Okay, as an example, they have 5. Based on the list of the tasks here, they map who's going to do what by having 2 indicators. First one is responsible, means the main person in charge, and the second one is who's going to support or assist. As an example, for this task, the main person who's going to be responsible is Richard. Going to help or assist by Dan and also Linda. So you map these kind of things for all the steps, of course, based on the capability of the staff, capability, their expertise, you know. So we map that, and if we can see is the ones have the similar staff, the same staff can be a PIC for many tasks. Right here, Richard is responsible for 3, 4. Okay, Dan is for 1, 2, and 3. Dave is only 1. Linda is only 1, and 3 for Elizabeth. And they are going to help others in certain tasks. So basically, it's based on the task and the expertise. This is another example for responsibility. As I told you, it's not a specific. We don't have specific template, but we customize it based on our needs. So this is for conveyor belt. Here, the map is not based on individual, but based on organization. Okay? Not the task, but deliverables, the output. Okay, who's going to do which process? Okay, they have their design department, development department, documentation department, assembly, testing, purchasing, quality assurance, and manufacturing. So this is what involved in this mapping. And their indicator also being more specific with 5 different levels. Responsible, support, they have now consult, notification, and approve. Okay, take an example of architectural design. It's going to be designed by the design department, of course, so they are responsible. But they're going to support by, they're going to get the support from the development department and also the testing department. While the quality assurance and manufacturing are going to just give advice, as they are just a consultant or consult. So the things goes like that. Okay, as similar for you when you're working on your assignment or your project. Okay, you may have your name of the staff, name of your team member, and also what this to do. Okay, you have your maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 of you, and then you're going to have a specific task. Okay, 1, 2, 3 tasks to be done. So this is how you plan based on the expertise and also the comfortability of the team. So why you need to understand, and of course you need to know your friends, your colleagues' expertise, capability. And I don't know if you are still, delegates the job like you do introduction, you do the methodology, this guy will do all the result and discussion, and this guy is doing the summary, this guy is going to compile and submit. I don't know if that's still being practiced, but how can, if you're just submitting the assignment, you're not going to know anything about the content. So yes, I believe you know how to plan your assignment and project. You've been doing that for more than 3 years, right? So because these are the things that you're going to involve when you are leading in the project or when you're working in industry. So that's for the responsibility matrix. We are done. Next is project communication plan. Here you need to plan the communication. Okay, in the project you're going to have the communication. Okay, and you need to plan this earlier. Okay, what information needs to be collected, when, who will receive the information, how you're going to use the, you're going to gather the information, and where you're going to store it. Okay, what are the limits? Is restricted? Is there everyone got access, or only certain people got certain access to the information, and when the information is going to be communicated and how? Okay, is it email, WhatsApp group? If you're dealing with a big project, you have to communicate. Can you just set a WhatsApp group, add everyone there, and communicate there? Do you think it's going to work? Maybe yes, but how about the record keeping? If anything goes wrong, who's going to be, be blamed? How you're going to justify who should do that thing, and due to the negligence, they overlook that. Okay. Take an example, there's a project, you completed the project, and after 5 years, there's some problem. That you need to go back and see who do this, who do that. So the example is minutes of meeting, the agreement letters, and all these things. Okay. So before we go to the developing communication plan, here are the information that needs. Okay, project status report, deliverables issues, changes in scope, team status meeting, gating decision. That's fine. It's all of this, the reports and things. Okay. So in developing a communication plan, you need to do this. You need to have these 5 information: is stakeholder analysis, information that you need, sources of the information, and how you're going to disseminate, how you're going to execute this. And the communication, is it by phone call, by letter, by email, by WhatsApp group, or just post it in the social media? What responsibility also? Okay, so this is the example of the shale oil research project, and this is the communication plan. Okay, so what information, target audience, when, method of communication provided. So you need to identify what are the information to be communicated. Example here, they have milestone report, project status and reports, team status and reports, issues report, escalation reports, more to the all the documents, all sourcing performance, acceptance, change request, offset gate decision, any decision that been done, anything. Okay, so who need this information? So you need to identify your target audience. Okay? Here is senior management and project manager. Here, project status report, agenda, staff, and customer. And then things goes down for everything. You may have maybe thousands of lists of what information is communicated. When? Okay, twice in a month, or 2 months, one time in 2 months. Weekly, anytime, as required. How? Email and hard copy. Only email, meeting. This is through meeting. This is email and meeting report. WhatsApp group. What else? Things can goes up. And so who is going to provide those information? Okay, and you can add more if you think you have more information. So this is the example of if anything goes wrong. Okay, so you said we didn't get the report. Okay, we can just go here, issues the report. Okay, so we need to send to the staff and customer every week through email. Who's going to send the email? Team recorder. So who is the team recorder? Who is the PIC? He's going to be blamed. Okay, but we are not going to blame people, but sometimes we need to extract the information, we want to retract the progress. So this is very important. So that's all for the project communication. Okay. So next is estimating the times and cost. So this is another part. I think it's very important part as well. So we're going to continue this. So learning outcome here. Okay. So to explain the importance of estimating project times and costs. So here now you're going to understand of estimating, basically estimating the project times and costs. To explain the awareness of the method uses. The methods uses advantages and advantages of top-down and bottom-up. We want to see what is this and to suggest estimating guideline for time cost. Because you are going to involve in the project, you need to estimate. Okay, let's say you want to go and bid for the project, how much your bid cost. If you got the project, how many people that you need, how long you're going to take time to complete the project. So you need to estimate the times, those details. Okay. So for estimating, it's basically a forecasting or approximating the usually time and cost of completing project deliverables. When to deliver, when to accept, when to buy, how much, what's the profit, what's the risk, what's the loss. So everything is about time and cost. So it's about estimating project's time and estimating project cost. And it's the task of balancing expectation of stakeholders and need for control while the project is implemented. So we have two types of estimates, top-down, so we call it macro estimates. Basically, it's an analogy or group consensus, okay, or mathematical relationship. And you also have bottom-up, micro estimates. It's estimates of elements of the work breakdown structure. Do you still remember WBS? So we are going to use WBS here. Okay, WBS that you have learned. So top down and bottom up. So this is okay here. If actually we are discussing why we need to go through this. Okay, why we need to go through this? Do we need this? Why you need to estimate the time and cost? Why they are important? So basically, you can discuss this among your colleagues to support good decisions, to schedule work, to determine how long the project should take and its cost, to determine whether the project is worth doing, whether it's worth doing or not. What's the matter if you just take the project but it's not worth doing? It doesn't give you any profits or give you losses. To develop a cash flow needs, to determine how well the project is progressing, okay, and to develop time, face budget, and establish the project baseline. So we can discuss further this. So this is factors influencing the quality of estimates. Okay, so when you want to estimate, you need to consider this kind of thing because this is going to give impact to the estimates that we got. Planning horizon, the perspective of your planning, project duration. Okay, if it's the longer the project, maybe it's more uncertainty the quality, right? But if it's just a 1 day project, 2 day project, 1 week project, maybe we can have a more focused and specific estimates. Okay, people who involve project structure, organization, paying estimates, the culture of the organization, and other factors, many things. Okay. That's fine. We just move first to understand the estimating the guidelines. Okay, this is the guidelines, estimates guidelines. Okay, when you want to estimate the time, cost, and also add the resources here. So first, have people familiar with the task. Okay, use several people to make estimates. Base estimates on normal condition, efficient method, and normal level. Okay, so here, what's the advantages? I hope you can discuss in your group. Why having a familiar people is good? Of course, because of the experience, they maybe went through the same process before. They know which factor to be considered. Use several people. Okay, why? They say use several people. Use many people. Maybe 5, 7 more people. Okay, several people. Why? Too many people is problem as well. They're going to have a different opinion things. But sometimes when you have more people, you have more ideas, and you're going to. The most important thing is to avoid bias. Okay, we can avoid bias by maybe the person have some interest on the project, so they tend to just accept the condition. But if you have more people, the people who are neutral, they're going to have a better justification. And the base should be on normal condition. You can't take special condition when you want to do that. It should be on normal. Okay? Use consistent time units. What's meaning here? Time unit, don't mix up minutes with hours, kilometer with meters, because we want to be consistent together to get the consistent amount of units. Treat each task as independent, don't aggregate, okay? Don't make allowances for contingencies, adding risk assessment help, avoid surprises, and etc. So go back to the top-down versus bottom-up. So what is top-down? Usually derived from someone who uses experience or information to determine the project duration and total cost. So here, top-down, as you can see, top-down, from the top, it goes down. Okay, so usually this is from the bosses, the boss, the managers, So you see, made by top managers who have little knowledge. So they have a little knowledge of the processes used to complete the project. But they know, they have the knowledge, but they have little knowledge on the process, on the technical part. They say, okay, the boss say, we're going to got the project, we're going to bid for 1 million. So the word that he said 1 million is top-down estimate based on his vast experience, but it's not detailed calculation, right? So it's by the bosses based on their experience, but little knowledge on the process. What is bottom up? Bottom up is opposite to this. It's from bottom, and then you give your view to the top. What this means, this can serve as a check on cost elements in the WBS. So they are going to use the WBS. Do you still remember WBS? By rolling up the work package, do you still remember the work package? The smallest element at the bottom, and associated cost account to measure deliverables in the work package. Means that we are going to check from the WBS. Okay, let's go to the WBS. Where is it? Okay. Oops. Okay, here. They start from, what is that? Bottom up, right? Bottom up, bottom up, bottom up. So from the smallest element, let's say the motor here, how much it costs? So it's one motor, and based on our example before, they're going to purchase. Let's say the price is 30 ringgit. Okay, and for circuit board, start from here. Let's say they have 7 circuit board, and then it's about, let's say 10 ringgit each. So you have 7, 10 ringgit, you're going to multiply with 7. You got 70. Okay, how about the chassis frame? Let's say 100, so it's 3, so it's 300. And you have a read-write head 5, so let's say 20 ringgit 1, so it's 5, so it's 100. So by estimating like this, of course, you're going to have a justification for each cost that you see here. Okay, so for the time being, just take this as it is. So 30 plus 70, 100, 400, 500. So what's the cost of estimation for this? 500. So this is how you do from bottom to up. So the same thing you do here, estimation, you're going to get the amount or figure or price for this. The same thing here, you've got something here. So by knowing these two, you can estimate the price here. But let's say the optical here is 150. Let's say the floppy is 200. Okay, 350, 850. Okay, 850. So we know that this storage unit is 850. Okay, so you're going to have estimation for your here, for here. Do you think we can get the estimation for this one by doing all of these things? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so you're going to have estimated, let's say RM, I don't know, let's say 2K. So we know the cost is 2K, and you're going to have another calculation things to come up with a selling price. But now this is the estimation that we can do. So this is bottom up. Okay, so which one is better, top down or bottom up? Yes, anyone? Bottom up. Okay. Is that bottom up? Is it really? The bottom is the good. Okay. So this is the preferred approach. Basically, when you want to start doing the estimating, this is the preferred approach. Make rough top-down estimate. So we start with top-down. That's the first step. Means that both estimation we need it. Okay. So your boss said 1 million, or let's say for the laptop, the PC just now is 2K, right? Let's say your boss said 5K. So 5K is top-down estimates. And then you develop the WBS, OBS, and then make a bottom-up estimate. Develop schedules, budgets, and then reconcile the differences between top-down and bottom. So you're going to discuss and see, okay, to consider. So you need to consider both. So this is the top-down and bottom-up estimates. Okay. So you can read by yourself, but see here the accuracy. Minus 20% to plus 60%, the top-down. Bottom-up estimates minus 10% to plus 30%. So which one is more accurate? Of course, the bottom-up estimates, because we go in detail. Okay, but still we need both. Okay, so this is the method, the WBS and things here, consensus, discussion, learning curve, and the preparing course. Okay, you can see here maybe 1/10 or 3/10 from the project cost. It's more easy. Maybe this more detail, you need some information. So how detailed that we need to go when we want to do this bottom up estimates? If you go too detailed, it's going to too costly, right? That's fine. Here, level of detail. Level of detail is different for different level of management. So maybe it's based on the management, and level of detail in WBS also varies. Okay? If the complex project, the WBS will be too complicated. But we need to understand excessive detail is costly. You need more detail than expensive. You need to go and search in that, and this of course is costly. Okay, so it's foster focus on departmental outcomes, okay, and create unproductive effort. But at the same time, it's insufficient. It's costly as well, because you're going to have a problem later on because you don't have a good decision when you plan. Okay, wasted effort on non-essential activity. So you need to find out somewhere in the middle, okay, to find a sufficient amount of detail. So now you're going to see the types of costs. I don't know if you're familiar with this or not. So when we are dealing with the costing, okay, basically we have a direct cost, we have direct project cost, direct project overhead cost, GA is general and administrative cost, and actually we have more. Okay, if we really want to take into consideration, we have indirect costs and things, but just go through based on this example or given explanation. So direct cost is costs that are clearly chargeable to a specific work package. So you have the work package, right? which product to be manufactured, what to do. So if it's specifically related to that, we call it direct cost. Usually it's a labor cost, materials cost, equipment cost, and others. Okay, direct project overhead cost is basically costs that incurred that are directly tied to an identifiable project deliverable under all work package. Usually salary, rents, supply, specialized machinery. Okay. General and administrative overhead costs, organization costs indirectly is linked to the specific package but indirect. Okay. Example, the salary for the HR people. HR people, they are not involved in production. Only the production people are doing the product, producing the product. But HR people give their input or not, they're preparing something or not, they help the project, yes, but it's indirect. So maybe HR people goes here. How about the security? The salary of the security. He's just standing outside of the company and taking care of the company's security things. So this goes here. Somehow it's indirectly linked. Okay. Okay. So hope this is type of cost. Okay. So this is the example of the contract bid summary cost. So actually here they just put it. Okay. In total. But direct cost, actually you have your own calculation. Okay, calculation, and then you plus with this many things. Okay, and then the total is this. Okay, the same thing for direct. It's not just came out like that. So let's say direct cost is 80,000. So you add direct overhead is 20,000. So the total is 100. Usually general and administrative overhead is 20% from this. So it's 20,000 from 100,000. So the total cost is 120. Usually the company will set the profit. So let's say they set 20%. So if by having 20% of profit, so the total bid is 144. If your boss asks you to go and to bid the project A, let's say you almost got the project for 140K. Will you accept or not? No, right? If you accept, come on, you're losing 4,000. What if you got 144? Come on, why should you take 144? You didn't make any profit. What if 120? Come on, you're losing. Why should you take this? You're not doing charity, man. What if you got 180? So you're going to accept, right? Because you're going to get profit. It's more than the I'm sorry, 144, you're going to accept. Sorry. I overlooked. 144, you're going to accept. Why? You got 24,000 profit. Okay, so the minimum that you said is 20%. So you're going to accept 144. But what if it's 180? You're going to accept, happy to accept with the big smile, because it's more than 20% that you expected. Okay. So this is how the things work when you want to understand the cost, total cost, all the causes are here. And then you add with the profits. Okay. So this is just the view of the cost. Okay. Committed, usually you commit. Okay. Which one is the commit one? This one, right? This one that you commit. This is the actual cost. This is schedule budget, so you can see the variation. So it's very good if you can make sure the variation is very low. Okay, so it means that it's going as planned. Okay, sometimes after you estimate, you need to refine. Okay, you can't easily do this, but sometimes we do. Okay, why? Here are the reasons. Interaction costs are hidden. Sometimes when we did the estimates, some interaction costs are hidden. And normal condition do not apply. Okay, there's a specific and special condition. So you need to have you need to define. Maybe there's a natural disaster or political instability, whatever it is. Okay, and things goes wrong on project and changes in project scope, suddenly they ask you to build 10 houses, suddenly they say 100, of course you need to revise. Okay, so adjusting time and cost estimate of specific activities are adjusted as the risk, resources, and situation become more clearly defined. When you are clear, you know now, oh, instead of 10, it's 100 now. Now we know where to do. So things become more clear. So sometimes you can refine the estimate, but of course, we need a mutual agreement from both all parties that involved. And it is good to create a database for estimating. Okay, so nowadays we have the estimate the database. We have the specific softwares. Although we are some of the companies just using Excel, considering 3-4 factors, but this is sometimes better to have estimates. You have your programming, product production, hardware, the system, manufacturing information system, operation process, risk analysis, documentation, everything. So you consider many things when you want to do the estimation. So that's on the estimating the planning, the database for estimating. So we are going to stop here. Before we continue, one more last session, very important session on network diagram, which you are going to use in your assignment. So we are going to do this in the next session. Okay. So thank you very much. Hope you can go through the slides and have a try to find additional information in the websites, YouTube's, on certain topics or certain elements that you think you need more clarification, or you can contact me for further discussion. Okay, thank you. So we're going to have another session later. Thank you. Thank you very much.